Okay, so Microsoft OneNote. What is it? Why do we want to use it? What's all the hoopla? Again, this is the agenda for today, but I do have some other little things I wanted to add in that I did not put on the agenda. So let's get started. Okay, Microsoft OneNote is a digital notebook. So if you are the type of person who likes to write things down on paper and pen, this is kind of your best comparison to a digital version of that. This allows you to have that notebook type feel with tabs and different page settings, but a digital version. What's nice about this is you get to access this from anywhere, right? They have the web version, they have the desktop version, they also have the mobile version. So you could also have the app on your phone and it all will be synced to all of those locations. So that's really nice. It works well for me. Sometimes on the weekend, I think of something that I need to do at work for the following week, and I'm able to open up my OneNote app on my phone and type that right in, and it's done, and I don't have to worry about forgetting what I thought I needed to do. So it's just a nice tool to have. The interesting part about the OneNote application on our computers here is that there are actually two different versions. So I'm going to show you both versions because there are two versions most likely that you will see if you go to look for it in the search bar on your computer. So if you go down here, because you might not see, let me just minimize this, you might not see OneNote on your desktop right here. Doesn't mean you don't have it. It just means it's not installed as an app shortcut on your desktop. All you have to do is type in the search bar at the bottom, OneNote, and you'll see right off the bat, two of them will pop up. So there's OneNote for Windows 10, and then there's the OneNote app. Personally, the OneNote, just the OneNote, I feel is the more updated version. It gives you the different views and some different tools that the OneNote for Windows 10 does not give you. So does it really necessarily matter which one you use? No, I think it's going to be your comfort. So just maybe try both out, but it doesn't matter where you start it, where you start the OneNote, or if you end up opening one version versus the other version a different day, everything is synced. So it doesn't matter. You'll always have your stuff in OneNote, whether you're using the Windows one or just the regular app, or if you go to the web, which I'll show you as well. So this one that you're looking at right now is OneNote for Windows 10. So you can see the setup is just a little bit different. And there's an extra feature in this one that you can't get in the OneNote app version. So I'll show you that. If there are any instructionally based staff on the webinar today, this one will be beneficial for you because this one allows you to add the class notebook option into. There we go. Just give us 1 second. We have an in-person participant joining. Gotta get her. But no, don't be. It's okay. So again, the OneNote for Windows 10, if you're an instructional person that uses Class Notebook in any way or supports anyone who does, you're going to want to pop into this one because in the 3 dots here, sorry, just letting somebody in. In the 3 dots here, if you go to settings and then options, somebody that just needs to mute it, 1 second. Thank you so much. All right. If you scroll down, you're going to see this option here that says turn this on to enable Class Notebook tools. So if you turn that on, and then go back in. It might take a minute to sync up. Now you can see here, I have the Class Notebook tab option here. So I can now distribute pages or new sections or copy to a content library, all of those type of features that you only get in a Class Notebook. In the other version, you don't have the option to turn on those features. So if that's something you need, you probably want to pop into the OneNote for 10, OneNote for Windows 10 option. The application option, which is this version, is the newer, more updated version of OneNote on your desktop. It allows you to have your tabs on the top as opposed to on the left or the right. So it gives you some more view options here. So if you pop into that view tab, you're going to see some different options here to see your layout. So you can even view the page as a full page. You can turn those vertical tabs horizontal like the other one if you like, but I actually really enjoy the top horizontal version because it's just easier to see where your tabs are, in my opinion, but you have to play with it and kind of get your groove and make it work for you. So those are the different, I wanted to show you the mobile version. So if I'm on portal.office.com and I come into my waffle and I go to OneNote, here again is my OneNote for the web version. All the same thing. You'll see that if I edit here, it'll update in the app here. It'll also, if I edit on the app, it'll update here, all synced. You don't have to do it in 3 different locations. You choose which location works best for you and you go with that. Again, in the web version, you can do all the same things by, creating a new notebook, finding your notebooks that you already had created, and you can also see your class notebooks if you do have any as well. So just good to know that there's different options and different ways to see things. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I tend to move quickly during these webinars just because of timing, but I don't want anybody to feel like they can't ask questions. So either throw it in the chat, we'll get to it at the end, or unmute and let me know what questions you have. So I'm going to be in the OneNote, just the plain OneNote application. So if you don't see OneNote and you're searching here in your search bar for it, I am in the one that just says OneNote, not OneNote for Windows 10 at the moment. If you need to start a new notebook, you could click on the drop down here and then click Add Notebook. That's how you would start a new notebook. You're always going to have a default notebook. So in other words, with your account, you're always going to have a default notebook that lives there. It should say your first name at Nassau BOCES, something like that. That should be the title. It's kind of a default notebook that's automatically created for everyone. So you can build right off of that one if you want to. It's not shared with anybody. It is your personal OneNote, but you can also create your, different OneNote notebooks as you need by just clicking Add Notebook. It's going to ask you where you want to save it, what you want to name it, all of that fancy stuff, and then you can get started. All right, so you have your Home tab here. This is where you're going to get all your formatting. Here's all of the different formatting styles and options. You can change font, you can add bullets, you can make it bold, change colors, all those fun things. You also have the option to tag something that you put into your OneNote, which I think is great because it allows it to stand out in a different way. And then you can also filter and search based off those tags, because if you have different tabs and then you tag things on those different tabs and you need to find them all in one location, you could do that. You also can customize your own tags. So if you click Customize Tags, it allows you to create your own tag. If you click New Tag, you can actually find a symbol that works for you, name it the way you want it, choose the font color, highlight color, all that stuff, and you can create your own tab based on your own needs. So let's start. I'll show you how some of that works. So I'm just going to start again. When you start a new notebook, it's going to give you a default tab called Quick Notes. But if you want to start your own tab, you just click that plus sign. Tab is also a section. And then within that section, on the right-hand side, you can have many pages. If you right-click on the tab, you can change the color of the tab. So I'll show you that in a second. Right here, you just go to section color and you can choose the tab colors and, make it fancy and decorated however you see fit. Once you title that section, it's going to pop in. Once you title the page, it's going to add the title to the section. So we'll just put that. I'm going to rename the section. It's going to be weekdays. Okay, so you can see that tab. So now here I have a tab titled weekdays. I have a page titled Wednesday, but now I want to add another page titled Tuesday, right? So this is for all the days of the week. Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, they're not in order. Can you reorder them? Absolutely. Click, drag, and let go, and you can reorder your pages in the order that you want them to be in. You can also, if you right-click, make a page a sub-page. So this way, instead of each page lining up this way, you can have kind of a nested page underneath. So you could choose to do that as well. So for example, if I wanted something like weekdays as a page, I want all of these to be nested underneath that dropdown. I would right click on Monday and go make subpage. Make subpage. I think I could actually highlight these and do it all at once. There we go. So now I can close that drop down if I wanted to, and then all of those days of the week are nested. So these are all my different pages within that within that page. It's a sub page. So it's nice to be able to really organize your notebook this way. And then again, you could continue to create tabs at the top. Okay, then let's go on to the insert. I'm going to go on to Monday, and the tab up at the top titled Insert allows you to put a bunch of different things into your notebook. For example, you can add a table. You can even add a new Excel spreadsheet, which is really nice. You can even add a table and then convert it into an Excel spreadsheet later on. You can add a file attachment. You can add a spreadsheet, again, an existing Excel spreadsheet or a new one. All types of pictures. The page templates are my absolute favorite. I will come back to that in 1 second. You can hyperlink in here. You can choose to add a date and time, symbols, and then again, all of these different options. You have the ability to transcribe, meaning that you can pull something into the OneNote and it will read it back to you. It will pull out the transcription for you, which is a really cool feature. So if you pop a video in here, it'll transcribe that video for you and type out all the words. You can record a video right here. You can add videos, like I said. And the other option is that you can voice record or let's see that on here for some reason. The dictate option, I bet you it's called dictate in this one. Let me see. Yep. So in the OneNote for Windows 10 option, there's the button here called dictate. So if I turn this on, see if it'll let me do it while I'm sharing. Yes. So if I talk while this is on, it should type the words for me. Maybe it won't do it because I'm recording. Oh, there we go. Yay. So this is really helpful. Again, you can easily just talk into the OneNote. It'll type it up for you, and you can come back and edit it and do what you need to do with it later on. This is a really strong feature when you are crunched for time. And you can see up here it's syncing. So now if I pop back in, see if that pops up anywhere. Yep. So again, I'm now in the regular OneNote app, and everything I just did in the OneNote for Windows 10 is right here. Everything syncs. Okay. Back to this tab. Okay. I think that was it. Again, you can add stickers. I mean, it really, the math assistant, amazing for any instructional staff that is in here. Definitely play around with that. I don't want to go too deep into any tools because I like to just make these webinars more overview, and then we can get into, personal questions and more deep questions at the end. The draw tool is great if you do have any sort of a touch screen and you have OneNote open on that touch screen and you're using a pen or your finger. You could do things like when you draw or write, it'll convert it into text automatically for you. You can use ink to math. So again, you can write or draw and it will populate that into a math problem automatically for you. You have the version of the option of all these different types of pens. So I can draw this. I could change thickness and color. So this can be good for highlighting or making, important notes stand out. You can add different types of pens. They have laser pens, highlighters, all different types of things. So if you need to highlight something on your page. The other option in Draw is your background. They do give you a bunch of different background options. So you could put some lined paper down. So it really gives you that notebook feel, all different college ruled, narrow ruled, standard ruled, and it also gives you the grid lines. You can change the grid line color. It gets really, really personal. You can change the page color. So again, it helps to make it very personal because then you'll want to use it more. So I definitely recommend playing a little bit with that. Here you can review spelling, thesaurus, check accessibility, translate. Huge feature if you need to translate text in any language. You can do that in OneNote. You can even set a language preference in OneNote. You can also lock specific pages, which is nice, and it could be password protected. Again, I went through the view already. Options you have here. Some of them are repeated in some of the other tabs. You also have the option to switch your background, like I talked about. You can always pop out a quick note if you want, so that you can easily jot some information down into that, which will then translate right into your full one notebook. Immersive Reader, again, another great tool. If I turn that on, it's going to eliminate all of the jargon that's on the OneNote and just give me the text, and it'll allow me to press. It will actually read that to me. And if you've ever used Immersive Reader in any of the Microsoft tools, it is incredible. Highly recommend it. You could change your text size here. I mean, it really allows you to absorb content in a way that works best for you. So definitely check that out. The final thing I really want to show you in here is page templates. I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to go to page templates. So if you don't really know how to get started with your OneNote and what to put on the page, these templates really help. Things like project overview, simple meeting notes, informal meeting notes. If you click that, it automatically sets the page up for you. Gives you the agenda, action items, important dates, summary, discussions, all here for you. So you can use those templates as you see fit. This is one of my favorite ones. Gives you the most important points, the to-dos, and the questions requiring follow-up after you have a meeting. They also have planners. So you have a to-do list, high priority, medium priority. Again, these are just standard templates, but you can change them up and you could start with it and then change it up to meet your needs. You can set a default template so that all of your OneNote pages end up with the template you choose instead of it being a blank white page. So if you want to do that, you can choose that right there. The The help tab is really helpful. It does have some training options in here. So if you clicked here, it'll bring you right to Microsoft OneNote training. So that's something I like to point out. Talked about class notebook, OneNote. Are they the same? Are they different? People kind of always come to me with that question. They are similar, I would say. They're not the exact same. Class notebook is meant for the classroom setting where the tabs and the pages are for each student, and they can't see the teacher sections, and each student can't see each other's tabs and things like that. But how it functions internally with the tools and actions is very similar, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, right-click options you have here, I talked a little bit about. You can copy a link to a specific page if you need to share that out. Dictate, translate, I went through. Okay, sharing a notebook. I know a few people had some questions about this. So up in the top here, there's an option to share an entire notebook, copy a link to a notebook, or email a copy of a page to a notebook. There's also the option, if you go to the File tab at the top, underneath the name of the notebook, you'll see invite people to this notebook. I've gotten some feedback that when people do this, the person getting the invitation does not see all the tabs. They only see one tab or just that main screen. So I'm going to play with this a little bit. If you have that problem, let me know. I'll definitely dig into that a little bit further and see if we could come up with some solutions on why that's happening. I'm going to go back to tags one more time real quick, because I think tags are really powerful. So in your home tab up the top, tags, again, I like the to-do. It'll give you that blank box. I gotta go back to this. If you do go to draw and choose a pen, remember to come back to it and click your mouse, because otherwise it'll stay a pen. If you go to the to-do tag, it'll automatically give you that checkbox, and you can then, when you're done with that task, click the checkbox. I know I like that. I like to do it when I'm using actual paper and pen, so I love that they have this option. Again, I told you can filter by tag notes. So if I click here and search for a specific tag, it'll pull up all of that tag in across my entire notebook. So it could be a really strong feature if you tags properly. You can print a OneNote page if you go to File and then Print. Preview the print page. This is what the page would look like. It will give you the date. It will give you exactly the way the page is set up, and it will give you the title of the OneNote tab that you're printing at the bottom. And then the last feature I definitely want to show you, because this one is something I use all the time, is the ability to send information from Outlook and or your calendar directly into your OneNote. I'm just going to open up Outlook real quick. Wait 1 second to just get logged in. And I'll show it to you in the desktop version, but I'll also show you that you can do the same thing in the web version if you do use the web version. And then I'll show you my OneNote just so you can get an idea of how kind of a put together OneNote looks, if that will help you as well. So for example, if I am in my email and I want this email and the thread that comes along with it to be a part of my OneNote in one of the sections or tabs, if you click, sorry about that. If you click the 3 dots here, it's going to make a lot. Oh, there it is. If you click the 3 dots here, you click send to OneNote. And if you're on your main screen, you might not see it this way. You may see the send to OneNote in the big ribbon. Let's see if I do it. There we go. Still not on this main. You may see it on your main ribbon, depending on the size of your screen. If you don't see it, you can always search in the search bar for it. Send to OneNote. Once you click that, if it's pulling, it's trying, you know what I think it's doing? It's trying to pull the meeting notes, the Teams meeting notes that we're in and send it there. So hold on one second. Let me get out of that. Let's try this one. There we go. Okay. So now it's going to ask you which notebook and which section and which page or tab that you want this information sent to. So I'm going to send it to the weekday section under Tuesday. And then I'm going to click OK. And again, there's my full email. The whole draft automatically popped, the whole thread automatically popped into my OneNote in the exact location I wanted it to go in. So this to me is also super, super strong tool. I use it all the time just as saving information so I can take things out of my inbox so my inbox doesn't get so cluttered. But if there's something I want to reference or save, this is what I'll do. You can also do that in calendar. So let's go to calendar. And let's see if they'll let me do this. I don't have anything. Send to OneNote. Oh yeah, it's going to say the same thing. All right, let's do. See if there's anything. Did I do this? Yes, send to OneNote. There we go. Okay, I'm just trying to look for an actual. There we go. Let's see. Send to OneNote. Oh, that's also a Teams meeting. So if it's a Teams meeting, it's going to pop in and say you don't have any notes associated with that meeting. That's why that's happening. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else on this calendar. I'm going to add something. So this is going to be test. Putting this into my OneNote. Right? So now I'm going to, again, right click on that event, send to OneNote. I love when Microsoft makes a liar out of me. It's my favorite. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put it, let's put it into Wednesday this time. Okay. So it should have popped right in there. Let's check. Weekday and go to Wednesday. Okay, so there it was. Exactly what I sent from the calendar is now in on the page that I sent it to from the calendar. So you can think of, how this could be beneficial to you in a multitude of different ways. The last thing I want to show you is on the My What the Tech website. If you go to the 365 tools and resources and then go to OneNote, there's a beginner video here that will also go over some of these things again. But what is really great, which I don't think Ray put it on here. Okay. If you put it on here, you get. So come back and check here. I will also put it in the follow-up email to everyone. But what was really great is I found someone who actually embedded calendars into her OneNote and made it so that she can click on the day in the calendar and it brings her to a specific page where she had everything she needed for that day. It was really, really, really awesome. So that video will be linked down here for you. ASAP. Otherwise, I will also put it into the follow-up email, so you'll have the link for that. But here I also have a bunch of resources. Any instructional people in the webinar, there are OneNote for Education interactive guides that really go through how to use OneNote, aka Class Notebook, in an instructional way. there's a bunch of different ways to use it and show you and different tools and resources here that you can definitely take advantage of. So I think I talked enough. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm also at the same time, because again, it's 1:15. I know we started late, but I want to respect your time. I'm going to stop sharing on this screen real quick. And I'm going to share on my other computer, and I'll pull up my OneNote. Just so you can get an idea. Here. Here we go. I'm going to show you what my OneNote looks like. So I have 2 of them. I have different tabs here at the top. I've really been playing along with, let me show you, making tables in here. And I also did, this is something that helps me keep track of my What the Tech videos, make sure that I have all of the components that go along with it. So this was a really useful tool. I also, so again, here, just to show you some context, these were emails that I had sent to OneNote that I needed for reference. So again, just popping those emails right in underneath is really helpful.
I think you're sharing.
Yeah, you're not,
Oh my gosh.
you're not seeing everything.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's do that all one more time. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. You can see
Yes,
it. Okay.
let me see.
Sorry about that. Wait, what did I talk about? I forgot. Oh, I've been working. Okay, I made a table, and I use that little to-do box so I can check off when I do something. This is for my What the Tech videos, so I can keep it organized. I know what topic I'm doing, what resources I need, what notes I have associated with that. All the tabs at the top. Again, I want to show you one thing. Second. This is one of my other notebooks. Just another thing for you to know is that the OneNote space is endless. You can't ever take up all of the space on the page. So if you want to keep going and adding to the left, the right, the top, the bottom, you can. I started playing with the templates here, which I absolutely love. So this is kind of how I use it, if that helps you. What's the other thing I was just showing you? Oh, this is where I was showing you that I was popping emails into the OneNote page. So from my email, I click send to OneNote, and I have the whole thread here as a reference as needed. And again, because you can move them around, once they get popped in, you just click and drag it if you need to move it into a different location. You can also right click on any of the pages and move or copy that page to either a different notebook, different tab, or different section. So if I click move or copy, you can choose to a completely different notebook if you needed to. And I can take the same page and either move it or copy it exactly as it is into another location, instead of you having to click and highlight, copy, and paste. So that's another strong feature as well. And yeah, that's it. I like to show it in real time. So this is what mine looks like. But it's really something that I've been using so much because it's just such a nice way to keep everything organized. I'm going to stop sharing there. Turn this camera back off. I'm going to come back over here. So anybody have any questions? Want me to repeat? Want me to show you something else? Want me to put something in the chat? Any of those things? Please.
Okay.
Let me
The example you were showing us when you were over there.
Yeah.
We put the check boxes in, and that's one of your favorite sheets. That would be like, you showed us how to do it, right?
So which one were you talking about?
Not that one.
Let me just find
Nope, not that one.
this one.
Nope.
Oh, where I made the chart?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be, I got the tech videos, that's this one.
Yeah, how you did that,
Yep,
like with the boxes and
Yeah.
the whole thing. That would be interesting.
yep,
You got agree?
Mhm.
Yep.
So that was me. I'll do it on this one. Inserting a table. I'm gonna open this up. Let me reshare my screen here real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna add a new. All right, so let's go here. So this is gonna be a table. I'm gonna go to insert table, and then I'll make it 4x4, right? Now what's nice is you grab this box and you can move it, you can stretch it, right? However you need to. Once it's highlighted, you can change the size of it. So you make it a little bit bigger. That's kind of what I did. So I'm like, I can't see. And then when you start typing in it, it will obviously move towards those, it'll move and accommodate to the text that you put in there as well. So then in here, I went to the tags and I put the box, right? I'm going to say water plants, right? Next box. I also can right click in a box and click the check mark here as well. So again, some people don't like right click. I love right click. I think it's such an easy tool. So instead of having to come up here to click and add a tag, they always have that default one right here, which is so nice. So I just right click and put that box in there. Right click, put the box in there. And then when you right click on a table, if you come down over here, it'll give you all those different options to similarly to what you would get in Excel, where you can kind of format the table a little bit. You can even sort it. So if you have a header row, you can choose that or unchoose that. And then remember before I said you can even convert to a spreadsheet. So afterwards, depending on what information you put in here, you can actually convert it into an Excel spreadsheet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really, really powerful. So I love it. It's my favorite. You can, I'm trying to think what else I did with the, if anybody that is virtual has any questions, oh, there's my dictate. I knew it was in here. Anybody has any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask away. The people that are in person will probably play with sharing one notebooks a little bit and see like what we get. Make sure it shares the whole thing. So I know Michelle was saying she, for some reason, it's not sharing the whole notebook for only a tab. So we're going to play with that a little bit. So we may even do that. So if you guys have to go, again, I don't want you to feel like you have to stay, but we're going to stay. We're going to play around with sharing a little bit. I may even let Michelle share her screen a little bit if we need to, if anybody wants to stay and see the sharing process, but I'm going to definitely do that. Barbara, did that answer your question
Yes,
about
it did.
the
Very
table?
good.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I
I
like
just want to make sure. Again, you can insert PDFs into here. Let's see if we go file attachment, Word, anything that you have, you can insert. I don't know if I have anything saved in here, but let's check. Oh, let's do this. Here's a PDF. It'll ask you if you want to add it as a file or a printout. I'll usually just add it as a file. And then if you click on it, it'll open it up. So again, really a nice reference. The other thing is too, for example, if you start to type here, for example, and you want because this then becomes kind of a separate box, but you want it to be incorporated into this box so they all move together. If you click Control and highlight, oops, sorry about that, not Control. If you click Shift and drag it into the other box, if you drag it into the other box, it now gets added into this, I'll call it a text box. Whatever's in that area, now this got added to it. So it doesn't, so it's not separate. And I can take this and now I can move it all together. So I could do that here as well. If I click on the item and then hold Shift and drag it in, right? I can now have it be part of the same box so that it all moves together on the page. Because every time you add a new item, it kind of creates a separate box, but sometimes you want those boxes to be together. So that's kind of how you do it. Again, you can also hyperlink. You highlight the text and go to link. You can link to a website. You can link to another page in your notebook if you wanted to. And that's really powerful for anyone that wants to create a notebook that kind of like a planner in that style, because then you can link to different pages. So I also want to grab that real quick before we do the sharing on this ownership grab that link. So, second, I'm going to grab that link for you. That shows you how to find them.
How'd it go?
We're still in it. Right, I'm grabbing the link to put in to show you how that person did the OneNote into a planner. All right, I'm throwing that link in the chat for you. Michelle, I know you'll definitely love that. I was mind blown how she did that. It was a really cool setup. Right? That's in the chat. That will also be on my website though, for reference. All right, let's test out the sharing. So I'm going to share this.
So I think it's through the app.
So the one
If
that
you use Windows 10 one, it doesn't work.
doesn't work, but this
I'm
one
gonna
does.
see, I'm
right,
trying to
let's
see if
check.
I could share.
I'm going to share this one with you that I just created, and let's see if you get the whole thing. And I'm going to do it like this.
Share it with me too.
Yeah.
I could play around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started already.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you guys edit rights to it and then send. So let's see. Again, thank you all. I know time is of the essence, so if you need to hop off, don't feel bad. Thanks for joining. Hope you use OneNote because it's so fun. Don't be scared of it. Just get in there and play around with it. Really could be a strong tool. And if you ever have questions or you want to do a one-on-one session, you can always book that time with me and we can do it together. I can help you create it, build it, and then, you could just practice using it. So thank you so, so much. If you have to go, if you have questions, unmute. Otherwise, I'll just hang in and stay in the webinar while we play around with the share feature. Do you guys get get an email or anything that says like I shared it with you or open?
So, all right, thanks.
Thank you so much.
I did.
You did, okay, good. So let's pop that open and then let me know if you guys see the whole entire notebook. So you should have 4 sections.
So I see where you, this one?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because see how you have 4 sections here,
Okay,
just like mine? So this popped you open into the web version.
okay.
That's the difference. Still gives you the right, let's see if it'll.
Which is fine, because you can go into the other one, right?
Mhm. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing with Barbara. I'm popping her into the, so if you go to editing and then open and desktop.
Just like in Word.
Yep, and then open, it's gonna give you the option for both. So
But I
go the new
want
ones,
this one.
yep.
That's what it is. Because I was in the Windows 10 one. I think when I
I
did
hope
it,
that's, if it's not
I
easy,
think
that's
that's what it
awesome.
is, because that's where I was working. I
It's so
started
weird.
this a long time ago.
Yeah,
So maybe both options weren't available. I don't know.
and I only discovered it because I was working in the OneNote for Windows 10 originally, and I came down here once this got set up, and it opened this version automatically. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this version is great. But again, for instructional people, if they want that class notebook tool option, that's not in this one, it's only in the other one. So it's kind of this wonky little thing, you know, that Microsoft does. But let's see if you have all the tabs. You need to go to view. There we go. Yep, so you do, all right. So that's
Where
good.
do you see that
So
page?
that's
What
what
are
it
the
is.
plans? Do we have that?
I am in section 2.
Section.
You see how section 2 is kind of popped up? That's how I know I'm in section 2, right? And I'm on the page titled table. So the sections right now I have on the top, but again, you could change that view and your pages are on the right side.
So why wouldn't it show in the other view?
Yeah.
It could just be the screen size.
You're
In what,
saying
in horizontal?
Yeah. No, it shows it horizontal.
In vertical, it doesn't show. Oh, you have to go here.
But the, both of the ones I have open.
No, because you can close the caret,
Right.
right? Like you could, there you go. Yep. Right, so you can choose the view that you like better. If you don't like the tabs on the top and the horizontal view, you can always come in.
Well, you know what's nice if you have a lot of them,
And
and
then
then see more of them on the side.
Yeah, so, and then again, what's nice is, well, and if you do the vertical tab layout, your notebooks and everything are gonna live in that hamburger on the left, so don't panic that you,
Okay.
you know, lose that. Click the hamburger and all your notebooks will be here. You can always close the caret out, so you don't need to see the drop downs for all of them,
Perfect.
right, to make it easier.
Yep.
The other thing is you can also not only can you color the tabs, but you can also color the notebook. So if you right click on the notebook itself, it does allow you to do some things with that. So if you go to properties, you can choose the color of the actual notebook itself, which helps it to stand out as well.
Yeah. Okay. That's perfect. That's great.
So good. I'm glad that we were able to figure out that sharing issue
Yeah.
because that was so
That's what
strange.
it is.
Yeah, it's so strange that it does that. But you know, we love Microsoft, don't we?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Ray's still in here. Still there, Ray?
Right. That's perfect. Oh, I'm very excited.
I know, it's my favorite tool. It really is.
That makes me feel so much better.
Right? Like, because that could drive somebody bananas, like, especially if you spend all that time creating something and then it doesn't do what you want it to do, you know? This version, I mean, it does the, you know, it does the same thing. I just liked some of the features in the OneNote app versus the OneNote for Windows 10. I just think it's better, but you have to, you know, play with it and kind of see which one you like better.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think what I needed for the OneNote app is good.
yes, for sure.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Theresa.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thanks